23 knife wounds. That's what it took to turn a suburban dream home worth $500,000 into the scene of a nightmare. The screams echoed down quiet streets before being silenced forever. At 11:47 p.m., a shaken voice called 911. "I killed my wife." Just 2 days earlier, this same man had been smiling for wedding photos, carrying his bride across the threshold of their new life together. Now her blood was spilling across polished marble floors. A fairy tale love story had curdled into a horror story in under 48 hours. But what transforms a groom into a killer so soon after saying, "I do"? Tonight we pull back the curtain. Welcome to True Crime Recap Files, your home for shocking stories where love, lies, and betrayal collide. Before we begin, ask yourself, would you notice if the person closest to you was wearing a mask? Or would you only see the truth when it was far too late? Valentina Koff wasn't born a predator. She was born into hardship. In Donetsk, Ukraine, the 1990s meant bombs in the distance, factories closing, and families barely scraping by. Her father, Victor, labored double shifts in a steel plant. Her mother, Oksana, scrubbed offices at night. Still, food was scarce. Childhood toys disappeared, sold off for bread. Her father drank, her mother withdrew. By age 15, Valentina learned the most important lesson of her life. Survival wasn't about strength, it was about strategy. She devoured English films on pirated internet, taught herself psychology from second-hand books, and studied people with laser precision. What did they want? What did they fear? How could she become exactly what they needed? At 19, fate handed her a ticket out. She won a US visa lottery. With just $200 and forged recommendation papers, she landed in New York City. For a while she played it straight, cleaning hotel rooms, serving coffee, translating for fellow immigrants. But working 12-hour shifts for pennies while watching the wealthy toss away more in a single dinner than she earned in a week, lit something dangerous inside her. The system wasn't fair. So she decided to change the rules. She found online forums where romance scammers traded playbooks. They called it the finesse. Target lonely, wealthy men. Mirror their dreams. Become their fantasy. Valentina became a star student. Exotic but approachable. Educated but vulnerable. Beautiful but never threatening. Within 6 months she was pulling in thousands each week. Designer shoes replaced her worn sneakers. A modern Denver apartment replaced her cockroach-infested room. And yet guilt lingered. At night she'd stare at photos of men who trusted her, families she was shattering, and wonder, could she ever be real again? Have you ever reinvented yourself to survive? Sometimes the line between adaptation and deception isn't survival. It's betrayal. Damian Blackwood grew up worlds away from Valentina's reality. Born in 1992 in Lakewood, Colorado, he was the pride of Michael and Linda Blackwood. A middle-class family, steady values. His father fixed pipes. His mother balanced credit union ledgers. They taught him one lesson: with enough grit you can build anything. And Damien took that literally. By 12 he was mowing lawns, shoveling snow, stashing every dime in a coffee tin. By 22 he launched his own construction firm with a loan and a beat-up truck. He lived out of his truck, ate gas station sandwiches, and worked 18-hour days. Within 5 years, he was building custom homes for Denver's elite. But with success came heartbreak. His first wife, Rebecca, seemed perfect. College-educated, driven, ambitious. What he didn't know, she was drowning in secret gambling debts. When Damien found out, it wasn't just betrayal, it was financial devastation. The divorce nearly ruined him. She walked away with the house, half his business assets, and alimony. By 28, Damien was bitter, obsessive. Money was no longer security, it was survival. He rebuilt, but this time behind walls, both literal and emotional. He bought a fortress-like house. He monitored every bank account daily. He trusted no one. But behind the walls, loneliness consumed him. Friends begged him to date again, but he scoffed. That's what I thought about Rebecca too. Psychologists call it betrayal trauma. He called it self-preservation. But deep down he was vulnerable. And that vulnerability would soon be his undoing. Have you ever known someone so afraid of being hurt again that they push away everyone? That fear can become the very weakness predators exploit. It was a Thursday night at a Denver wine bar when their worlds collided. Damien nursed a glass of Cabernet, reviewing blueprints. Valentina walked in with precision. Black dress, leather folder, a smile that could disarm the coldest skeptic. Her first line was simple. Are you an architect? That word, honest, slipped into the conversation soon after. For a man burned by dishonesty, it was intoxicating. 2 hours later, he was hooked. She didn't ask for gifts. She didn't flaunt luxury. He seemed real. And for a man desperate for real, that was all it took. Weeks turned into months. Valentina cooked his meals, sent good morning texts, massaged away stress. He was perfect. Too perfect. Then came the tests. A broken laptop, an immigration fee, a sick grandmother. Small amounts at first, disguised as reluctant requests. Damien didn't see manipulation. He saw love. Friends noticed red flags. His partner Kyle warned, "She doesn't add up." But Damien was blind. To him, Valentina wasn't Rebecca. She was redemption. By month 5, she suggested marriage. Damien said yes without hesitation. The wedding was lavish. The honeymoon in Cabo was bliss. Hundreds of photos documented their perfect love. 2 days later, Damien logged into his bank accounts. $380,000. Gone. Drained into offshore accounts. When he confronted Valentina, the mask slipped. The tears dried. The voice changed. "You figured it out. You were just target number 47. She listed her other identities, the network she worked for, the men she'd destroyed. Well, matter of fact, Damien wasn't a husband. He was just another mark. For 2 days he stewed in silence. His empire gone. His pride shattered. His love revealed as fraud. On Thursday night, as she hummed while making dinner, he snapped. "You weren't special. You were easy." Those words lit the fuse. In a blur of rage, he grabbed a knife. 23 times he struck. When the red haze lifted, Valentina lay dead on the kitchen floor. At 11:47 p.m., he dialed 911. "I killed my wife." The trial was swift. Psychologists testified about betrayal trauma. The defense pleaded insanity. But the brutality of 23 wounds told another story. Damien was sentenced to 25 years to life. His empire dissolved. His parents left shattered. Valentina's real identity unraveled an international romance scam ring. Dozens of women, millions stolen. But for two families, none of that mattered. Both had lost everything. Love can heal. Love can destroy. Damien thought he found redemption. Yet he found ruin. And Valentina thought she was in control until she wasn't. So I'll ask you, would you see the red flags if someone you loved was lying to you? Or would you ignore them until it was too late? This is True Crime Recap Files. Subscribe now to make sure you never miss the warnings hidden in these stories.